Hi everyone, welcome back to another video in my university series. I would like to introduce you all today to Arianna Martinelli, a first-year student at Carnegie Mellon University. So thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm beyond excited to be here.
So my first question is, I was wondering if you could just introduce yourself a little more.
Yeah, of course. So my name's Arianna. I'm a freshman at Carnegie Mellon University studying information systems. I'm very passionate about using technology to help communities that I'm a part of. And outside of kind of school and academics, I love being active, swimming, like playing flag football, just getting out there and having fun.
That's so nice to hear. One of the first things I want to talk about is your experience as a instruction or assistant instructor at Klossy. So I know it's an organization founded by Carly Kloss. It's so to empower young girls in all coding areas. And I personally find the message of the organization very impactful. But I'm just curious, what is your experience and journey like with the organization?
So I've had an incredible Code with Klossy experience. Like I can really attribute a lot of my first experiences with coding with Code with Klossy and that whole experience. So I first started during the pandemic, I was very stuck inside and I knew that I wanted to get involved with technology, but there weren't a lot of opportunities like outside of kind of just in my room and finding things online. And I found out about Code with Klossy and I did my first camp, which was mobile app development. And I had the best time. I still stay in contact with those girls. And from that, like I gained so much confidence. I went forward the week after. I participated in my first hackathon with a team of all girls and I won. And I was like, wow, like not only have I learned so much from the camp, but I can go forward and actually apply it. And it really just gave me the confidence to go forward and be like, oh, I can do this. I can start this. And the year after that, I did web development. And then the year after that, I did data science. And I had such a wonderful experience that the year after that, I wanted to bring it back. And so last summer, I was an instructor assistant and I just met so many incredible people like you who were very excited. So many girls who wanted to learn about technology no matter where they were in their journey. And it was just amazing to kind of be that mentor that I received. I had so many influential IAs as a part of my journey, and I kind of wanted to be the same person for so many other girls.
Oh, that's such a great story to hear. So how do you think organizations like Code Klossy empower girls? What is it like that's so special about these organizations?
Wow. It's just incredible the fact that so I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and we have a few opportunities around here, but being able to have access to these online programs during the pandemic, but really just in general, really opens the doors. It gives like girls like me the power to be like, oh, I can just learn anything just from my computer, from my desk, from my room. And it's just amazing. It gives girls the confidence to kind of go out and say, oh, I can like learn something right now. I don't have to wait. I don't have to go to like university or like after my school career is over. So that's you just so many amazing things from that. And there's so many other incredible programs. I think programs like NCWIT, National Center for Women in Information Technology, they have a wonderful Aspirations in Computing Award program. And you just kind of get the opportunity to network with so many like other incredible girls, so many other people within this field. Programs like Hack Club, if you've ever heard of them, it's an organizations of thousands of coders from around the world where they come together, they create projects, just being able to have the opportunity to build things. And they're specifically working to support like girls' voices within the community. So that's amazing. And even just local opportunities. I think after Code with Klossy, I was like, whoa, I want to bring this experience back. And so I started a club at my school and ran coding camps and being able to kind of be that person who's like, oh, whoa, like I had all these incredible experiences and I want to share it with others, like looking for those opportunities, but also being a leader within those. It's very empowering.
And what do you think you really took away from being whether a leader at Code Klossy or a leader in your own community?
Wow. Just being able to be that person who starts someone's interest within a field. I think what's amazing about technology is it's so intersectional. So even if someone comes in wanting to like having a passion for art, they can do that through technology, maybe like generative art or being able to create something online. So being the person who's like, oh, let me give you this tool and kind of pass it on to you. I think that power is amazing. And also just like kind of seeing girls or just like any students in my position who are like, I want to learn something, but might not have as many opportunities, I think is very empowering.
So it's all about bringing what you or like giving back to the community what you receive from another community. It's
Yeah,
really nice.
exactly. Exactly. It's really a lot like this podcast. You're kind of just trying to amplify these voices and sharing it with others. And yeah, I know it's just even what you're doing with this is incredible. And having like you have the power to share other stories and share your own story as well.
Yes, exactly. I feel like every time I get to talk to someone, this is kind of a side note, but every time I feel like I get to talk to someone new, it's also not just empowering me, but also the people around me or whoever watches the video. Hopefully people watch the video, I mean.
No, I love it. Yeah.
Okay, next question I have for you. So you mentioned earlier that one of your first Code with Klossy camps was mobile apps. So I was
Yes.
wondering, does that motivate you to start your own app? I believe it's called Tandem. And could you
Yes.
explain to us a little bit more about like the journey of developing an app like that?
Yes, of course. So I have a nonprofit called Tandem, and what we do is we pair high schoolers with senior citizens to have 30-minute phone conversations. And really, it started from my grandmother during the pandemic. I realized that she spent a lot of times indoors, like we all were, but it was very isolating for her. She had an increased health risk during COVID. So being able to have this opportunity to talk with another generation, but it's not only on the senior side, it's also on the high schooler side. We kind of have this large generation gap where, at least especially in the US, we're not talking with like the elderly, like our grandparents or just any elderly, but there's such like this generational connection is so interesting. Like we have these shared experiences and we can learn from each other. So I started a nonprofit Tandem with my twin brother, and it's as simple as just having a conversation, passing on stories. So that's Tandem. And we're working through building the app right now. And it's a very interesting process. We kind of have this group of high schoolers who are so attuned with technology. Like we're always on our phones and our computers, and technology surrounds us. And then we kind of have the elderly who are learning about it in kind of different ways. Like they didn't grow up with it. So kind of looking from a very intentional, accessible angle, saying, how can we get the elderly involved with technology in an easy way? And then also having our high schoolers come in. So we're going through that. We're saying, like, how can we integrate things like calling on the phone that's very easy for the elderly to do. And it's been amazing. And it very much did start with Code with Klossy. My first hackathon that I ended up winning, that I was telling you a little bit about before, that was kind of a little version of Tandem. I saw the problem and then built a small version of the app, and just being able to see that and then going to win the hackathon and saying, wow, people actually want to see this happen. It was a big factor in me wanting to bring it forward and kind of make Tandem a reality.
It's lovely to hear. And just out of curiosity, what exactly are you using to develop this app? Do you start from like coding from scratch, or is there like a program?
Yeah, so we're using Swift. I think we're still in the talking with our users and going through that. And it's also a process like, how do we pass down this program to high schoolers? So currently, since I'm in university, I'm thinking, how do I continue to pass this down to current high schoolers, and how can they bring the app to fruition? But yeah, that's kind of where we're at now.
So not only are you trying to build on this idea, but you're also trying to involve many other students.
Yes, exactly. It's very important that it's a community thing. I think we're building these bonds between like a single high schooler and a single elderly person, but like it's also such a community together. The Tandem community is like tons of high schoolers coming together and saying, I want to be a part of this mission, and tons of elderly being like, oh yeah, I want to make this happen. And just the stories we've seen from it are incredible. We have like business leaders and like religious nuns coming in, and all these like interesting elderly from different perspectives wanting to kind of pass down their stories, and then high schoolers who are kind of like so excited about it as well. So it's definitely a community effort altogether.
Oh wow. Do you have any specific story that you experienced through like building this app, or like for example knowing someone who went on this app and took a lot like had a lot to take away from using the app?
Wow, so many stories. Let me think. I think one of them is incredible. So my twin brother, we work together, and a big part of developing Tandem is that we wanted to be a part of it ourselves. So we were like the second and third like Tandem participants from the high school perspective. And my brother connected with a Catholic nun, and she is like talked to him about so much about kind of her faith. but also just in general, like she rides motorcycles and has 3 master's degrees, and being able to look at someone from like a very different perspective, very different generation, but also very different perspective, is just incredible. For me, I talk with a woman who has years of like business experience, and she was in kind of a woman in business during a time when maybe that wasn't as like accepted. So hearing her experiences, how she learned things, how she put herself out there, it really inspires me. Even the first Tandem senior was my own grandmother, who kind of inspired the whole project, and seeing her make best friends with a high schooler that we were very close with was amazing. And she passed away a year ago or so, and just like seeing her be able to make a difference and kind of pass on everything that she knows in the stories that she adds is so impactful. But it goes well beyond just our leadership team. It's high schoolers kind of all around my state, and just all around who want to make this kind of difference. And yeah, so many stories that I can't even share within this as well.
Yes, of course. And I love how your grandmother's memory lives on to all the people that she connected with through this app. It's a wonderful way to preserve someone.
Yes, I completely agree.
Yeah. And let's talk a bit more about your experience right now at Carnegie Mellon. I'm just curious, what has your experience been like, or are there any current projects that's going on that you'd like to share?
Oh, I love Carnegie Mellon. So a little bit about Carnegie Mellon. It's in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's incredible. I'm studying information systems, which is kind of a combination between computer science and design and human-computer interaction and humanities subjects. So I have this really interesting look at both the technical side and also other courses. So I'm taking those like fundamentals of computer science courses, but also things like a class about human intelligence and human stupidity. And it's so interesting because I love looking at the computer science side of it, but I also love looking at how can we bring humans into it. So I'm hoping to pursue probably a concentration or minor in human computer interaction. And I love it so much. I think that the best thing about my experience has been taking these wonderful classes where I have these professors who are so passionate about what they do. The research relates with the class, and if they're proving something, they're like, oh, this is my research, this is what I'm doing, like I'm continuing to further it. But it's also even outside of the classroom, joining things like the club swim team or clubs that I'm interested in and being a part of that. It's kind of like this mix, this balance that you kind of put together throughout the college experience.
Wow, that's great to hear. How do you think your transition from high school to university was like? Was it difficult for you? And I'm not just talking about education, sorry, not education, academics. I'm talking a bit more about maybe you're moving far away from home or you're getting adjusted to dorm life. Like, what has that process been like for you?
Yes, it's definitely a challenge. You're leaving home, you're starting a new school, you have this 1 week at CMU, it's called O week, and you kind of have to get to know everyone, and everyone's kind of like, I need to put myself out there, I need to meet as many people as possible. And it's kind of it's incredible. You have like all these new faces, all these new classes, but also it's super overwhelming. You're like, wow, I'm gonna have to live by myself and like go find my like food and my like the activities I'm going to be a part of, as well as going to school. And it's really challenging for sure. But I think finding communities that you can relate with, whether that be like in the classroom or like things that you're interested in, communities, like joining clubs, you're like, oh, that's an interesting club, and just going to join it, you can create a support system that it's like, oh, if you're struggling or if you need someone, you can reach out. So I think I'm very fortunate of having met like friends and classmates and making these communities, and it's helped me a lot.
That's great to hear. Just I think it's time we wrap up our interview. So the last question I have for you today is if you had to give one piece of advice to high school student, what would it be?
Wow. I think my big piece of advice is just go out there, like whatever you want to do. If you want to start your own nonprofit, create your own app, like join a program, just go out and do it. You don't have to wait until college or after. I think you really have the power to do it right now. And you can find different ways, whether that be through the internet or your support system, like going out and reaching out to people. So really, if you're interested in doing something, like try it right now. I really think that you'll be able to achieve whatever goal you have.
I totally agree. I think everyone should have courage and try everything that they think they can get it, whether they think they get it or not actually. Because what if you end up getting what you want and you never would have done it if you haven't even taken that first step?
Yeah.
Anyways,
Exactly,
Again,
exactly.
yeah. Again, thank you for joining me for this interview. It was lovely to talk with you, and I hope everyone that watches the video enjoyed this video.